Hello YouTube and welcome to GrunfWorks. This is episode 34 of the Interplanetary Voyage of Exploration. And in previous episode we have done a bunch of launches and we have accumulated a little bit of science. And also we have launched our first SSTO. Now, from now on we will try to also focus a little bit in terms of building stations. And that's why I'm gonna unlock here the orbital science. This is a part of the orbital science mod, which gives meaning to space stations. So it gives some experiments that you can conduct in orbit and actually get rewarded for it over time, which gives stations a purpose. I have also installed the mod the solar from the near future technologies. I've been playing without it and it has been really hard to be able to find something that's light enough and that it produces enough electric charge. So let's just say that we have found a good supplier of solar panels in the KSC. Okay, with that being said, I'm just now unlocking the purchasing the parts for the unlocked tech nodes to make sure that we have access to it. Okay, and now we have to prepare for the Jool transfer. As you remember, we have two probes that are in Kerbin orbit that will be going to Jool, and shortly after that we have a mini Eve probe with lifter that is supposed to arrive around Eve. So, now time to start planning the ejection burns. And so let's set Jool as a target. And for that I'm using a small Android app called KSP-Orbitalk, which is actually very good in terms of calculating the ejection angles and depending on your orbit in Kerbin and your target planet and target orbit, it will give you what would be the angle from which you're ejecting. And that's compared to this path that Kerbin is going. So for Jool it says 120 roughly degrees. So I'm now trying to assume approximate that location and let us extrude the orbit. Oh, and we have a moon encounter, which we do not want, so I'll probably flip it to be on the next orbit. Yes, I think that should be the best. Okay, because we don't want gravity assist from Moon at this point. Okay, so on the next orbit, and yes, we do see our projected path, and let us just extrude the orbit. We should be able to get a Jool intercept, and there we go. Simple enough and easy. Okay, that's for a maneuver node for the Jool Nuke Probe 1. Then we need to set up a maneuver node for the Jool Nuke Probe 2. Basically, same principles apply. So, yeah, we got it in the focus. And let us once again rinse, repeat, once again the same. So, as you can see, I'm trying to first set Jool as a target, once again. Yep, and now look at the plane where Kerbin, or the path where Kerbin is going around the Kerbal. So now slightly angle it, so it's a little bit more than 19 degrees, and putting now maneuver node on that approximate location. Okay. So let us now, once again, extrude the orbit and then... Okay, oh, this one has also a few gravity assists. Well, we don't want gravity assists. Nope, but let's just see if we tweak it a little bit. Extrude it a bit more. Yeah, I think we will not. We will not be passing Moon's sphere of influence, and let us just extrude to see if also the Nuke Probe 2 has a decent encounter with Jool. Which it has. Okay, that's great. So we have the two maneuver nodes set up. So yeah, one is in 49 minutes, another is in 1 hour. So yeah, let's see if we get to the point. And I have roughly judged the burn. It should be 9.5 minutes or around 10 minutes with this level of thrust. So I did set up a maneuver node to be approximately, I should hope, 5 minutes or before the maneuver node, but let's see. I actually think that this part of Kerbal alarm clock, at least the 090 was bugged, so if you changed the time of the encounter after you have added the alarm, it should probably not update. So let's see. 20. Okay, and here we go. And yes, we have 3 minutes to the burn, which is not what I wanted. And I also stated this, you can see above it's 6 minutes. Well, what can you do? Let's just start the burn and hope for the best. Let's just see if our ComSat dishes are pointing correctly. So we will resume to maintain a connection with the KSC. And it's 1900 meters per second, which is quite a long burn, as you see, around 9 minutes. So that's why you're watching 8 times acceleration, so that you can enjoy the ejection burn while still keeping your sanity. I mean, who wants to watch 8 minutes of this ship burning? It's nice, but it's not that nice. Okay, so I'm just checking on how is our orbit extruding. Seems decent enough. And yes, so let us just continue with the burn. And I'm not gonna bug you with it. Let me just show you just prior to the encounter. I have decided to remove the maneuver node and just do the rest manually. I didn't want to bore you with all the 8 minutes of me burning. I mean, nothing really special happens there. Okay, now we have a good, well, maybe not great, but decent Jool encounter. We will be passing through its sphere of influence, which is good enough. Now, time to go to the Jool probe number 2. And by the way, I like how this probe looks. Okay, and let us kill the rotation, and yeah, now that we are doing exactly the same thing with the second probe. We are once again burning for ejection, and as you can see we are closing in, and I'm just waiting until my periapsis basically starts showing that it's near Jool, or apoapsis, sorry, not periapsis. But anyway, and looks like we will get an encounter soon enough, and here we go. Yes. Okay, perfect. That sets up these 2 transfers. They will obviously take some time until we get there, but also I've noticed that we have a descending node just ahead of us, so it might be a good place to actually use and put it's 1.3, so we might use it to actually adjust our orbit, so that because while it's still cheap, it's cheap when you are going this far away, and becomes increasingly more expensive as we close by. Anyway, I'm kind of it took me quite a lot of time of fiddling, so I'm just accelerating through this and trying to come ever so close in terms of coming as close as possible to Jool. Like I said, I do not want to aero brake, but I do want to come close. Yeah, something like this. Oh, and we do get the lathe encounter. Well, that's nice, because ultimately I wouldn't mind having a lathe encounter. If we get 2 probes and both succeed in their mission, then one of them could actually easily go to lathe and maybe some other moon. After all, we are in it for the science of the things, right? Okay, a little bit more fiddling, and as it is typical for me, I usually mess it up. Okay, next thing to happen is the mini Eve probe. And that one is just about to come into the Eve's sphere of influence within 23 days. So I want to judge how much delta V we will actually require to be able to stop it in the orbit or prevent it from ejecting from Eve once again, so that we perform an orbital insertion burn, that we get even just an elliptical orbit around Eve. And yeah, this is a second maneuver node, so I think I have to remove the first maneuver node to be able to tell that. Yeah, 448. Okay, 448 meters per second. Well, that's not too bad if it's judging by the previous. Well, yeah, but this is, then again, this is ion thruster. Alright, yeah, so it might take actually a while. Okay. Let us just use our flight computer, because we are playing with signal delay, so we don't want to make the burns ourselves. And yeah, it took some fiddling, but then again, I guess it's time that we actually earn the title Interplanetary Voyage of Exploration and actually come to our first planet, which is Eve. And I think we have crossed the threshold. Yes, we did. Even as you see, our alarm clock still saying 1 day 0 hours. We are already in the sphere of influence, so let's get us some science. Gravity scan, then again, I want to toggle autocollect. Magnetometer scan. Strong magnetic field ensures that Eve's atmosphere remains protected from Kerbal's radiation. Sure. So, multispectral analysis. Let's actually transmit that one. Oh, and we cannot transmit it because it automatically got plugged and stuck into the probe. Yes, right. I forgot about that. It's now under review stored data. Oh, and this is interesting. So when I go review stored data, it sends the command to the flight computer, and after time signal delay comes out, then I can review. Interesting. Okay, so I'm sent one. And I think I'll keep it a second. Okay, orbital telescope. Things don't look so far away now. Well, after this long trip, we should be close. And you can see, if you look very carefully, Eve in the background behind the RPWS sensors. So now let's retoggle them. And yes, some of the experiments are biome specific, so we might get more pop-up alerts and stuff, while the others are not. So the idea is for this probe to return to Kerbin eventually, and for us not to have to transmit the partial science. So only the full experiments will be transmitted, while the others won't be. Yeah, for example, this one we will not transmit. Magnetometer scan, transmit, orbital telescope observations, transmit. Great. And that's all high above Eve science, I guess. Now, as you can see, our trajectory has changed a little bit from the last time when we saw it. So we don't have a periapsis, but we are actually on a collision course to Eve. And now I'm using precise node to actually set up a maneuver node that will be, I guess anti-radial, which will help us get a periapsis around Eve. If I try to do that by clicking on these trajectories or the blue line, I've tried several times, it just didn't work, so here precise node comes to save the day, actually. Okay, and this is the maneuver node, so yeah, fiddling a little bit with it because eventually I want to be, after I pass Eve, I want to be somewhere in the plane of Gilly, because once we do all the science with Eve, we still have plenty of time until we get back to Kerbin, so might as well, explore Gilly. And which reminds me, I should actually set up a transfer window plan from Eve back to Kerbin, which is in 1 year and 150 days. Okay. Let's point towards the direction of this next maneuver node and let us give it command to execute the planned maneuver. Okay, so now let's see. Oh yes, a little bit more sweet science, and the planned maneuver is coming in 1 hour and, well, now. Because I'm hitting the time acceleration. And yeah, now we're getting alert for sphere of influence change, which is completely wrong. Okay, yeah, alert, thank you. Kerbal alarm clock is great and I just love playing with it, it's just sometimes it gets things wrong. And we are burning. Like I said, this craft has abysmally low thrust to weight, so I'm showing you everything again in time acceleration. Yeah, so our burn wasn't that small, it was a couple of hundred, I think it was 100 and something meters per second, so I've turned off even the lighting just to save on the power because I was thinking we actually might need it. Oh well, we all make mistakes. Okay, 30 meters per second. And we already have a nice apoapsis, which is just great. Or periapsis, sorry. Yes, and now I'll be setting up a maneuver node on the periapsis to perform an orbital insertion burn, and that one will be a little bit heavier. Like we said, around 510, 520 roughly. Yes. One thing to consider is that at the time when we will be burning, we will probably not have a connection to the KSC due to Eve. So it's important that we set up and send the commands to hold maneuver prograde and execute the planned maneuver now, and it will execute it in due time when it comes. Oh, sorry about that. Press the wrong button there. Okay, so 1 day, 12 hours and 25 minutes. And Eve looks ever so beautifully in the distance. So let us just do some last tidbits of science and let us enjoy the actual approach towards this beautiful, deadly, and yet majestic planet. So, hitting the time acceleration and observing as Eve is coming ever so closer. Wow. Beautiful, isn't it? Eve just looks so majestic. Yeah, and I have to say I'm using Astronomer's Visual Enhancements Beta version 3. It is an older one, but all the planets look very, very beautiful with it. So, yes, and as you can see, we still have some visibility towards the KSC, but this is shortly start going out of whack. So yeah, let us just, and we have started to burn. We have 465 meters per second to go. Once again showing everything in time acceleration. Oh, here we are with the alert. Okay, maneuver node. Yes. What does it say? Oh yeah, it's nearing the maneuver node. Yeah, sure. Good thing, you see, this one would mess our plans. It's good thing that we already have pressed the burn, so the flight computer has turned on and actually started doing things on its own. And actually I think I'm gonna call it the episode as soon as we get a stable orbit around Eve. A little bit shorter episode, but still feature packed. By the way, I have re-recorded it because the previous version, and I have cut out some of the more boring stuff because previous was just too long and tedious, so I figured keep the interesting parts and kill the others. And as you can see, as a final tidbit, now there's no connection to the KSC, and this is why it's very important that we have previously set up maneuver node and assigned it to the flight computer who is now executing it. Yes, this is how we actually play with remote tech, but with signal delay. Okay, so we have a stable orbit around Eve. I'm gonna call it an episode. Like the episode if you like the episode, and for more KSC content, enjoy guys. Thanks and bye.